I've got an amazing story to share. Today's official topic, we learned about risking one's life to save someone else. But a question that may be more relevant to many of us is, what about inconveniencing yourself to help someone else? Last Shabbos, I was together with a group of about 200 people, where we went to the kotel together to daven, to pray, to speak to our Creator. And of course, we danced and we sang. And then we started walking back to the hall where we were going to eat dinner at. And we're all walking back in a large group, 200 people. And we got to the hall, sat down and started eating. And at one point, we started to notice that one of the guys was missing. And one of the guys who had walked with us, he wasn't anywhere to be found. And we had no way of knowing where he was. It was Shabbos. He didn't have a phone with him. We didn't have phones with us. And it could be anywhere in Israel at this point. So we figured, okay, maybe he went back to the hotel. Maybe he went to the yeshiva. There was a yeshiva nearby that we were studying at Or Sameach. Maybe he went there. But we really didn't know where he was. One of his study partners who had learned with him during the time, he felt really concerned about him. I'm going to go looking for him. So he left the meal in the middle to go looking for him. Now, what was happening to the other guy while this was going on? So what he told me afterwards was that he was walking with the group, and he was next to some random, Hasidic guy from Jerusalem, and they started talking. I had a fascinating conversation with this random Hasidic Jew. But after several minutes of talking and walking, he looked up and he didn't see anyone else from the group. So what's he going to do now? So he told the Hasidic guy, that he was lost. So he said, "Where are you staying?" He said, "I'm staying in a nice hotel near Or Sameach," but he didn't know the name of the hotel. So the Hasidic guy said, "I'll take you to a nice hotel, and maybe that's the one." So they go to a nice hotel, which happened to be in the opposite direction of where our hotel was. And he goes, no, I don't recognize this hotel. So then they go to a different hotel, not that one. They go to a different hotel, it's not that one. But at least at the third hotel, through speaking to the front desk and the concierge, they're able to figure out which hotel he was at. So they gave him a map and showed him how to get to the hotel. Thanks to the Hasidic guy who stayed with him during this whole time. And then he starts making his way to our hotel. Now, again, we're not in the hotel. We're in a hall, which is somewhere else. He gets to the hotel. Now, just to give you an idea, this is someone who had decided he was going to try and observe Shabbat. He really wanted to keep the entire Sabbath for 24 hours, not to use his phone, not to do anything. But at that point, he was at a moment of weakness. He's separated from the group. He felt, I got to go get my phone. I got to call someone and find the group. Now, he didn't have a key on him. He asked the front desk if they could open the room for him. They said, sure. Shows you about the security there. So they bring him to a room, which turns out not to be his room. So they took him to the wrong room. They open up the wrong room for him. And he goes in and sees it's the wrong room. Oh, it's the wrong room. So he walks back out. As he walks back out, the hallway he happens to be, was not his hallway, is the exact hallway that the friend that had gone looking for him happened to walk through exactly at that moment. So literally, there was like a 30-second window when they could have crossed paths. And only because of the delay in finding the hotel, the other guy going to look for him when he looked for him, and him being sent to the wrong room, they happened to meet up. And then they embraced, and he was able to take him back to where we were. And he didn't only, protect him from being lost, but he ended up, as the boy said to me, he protected him from breaking Shabbos, because he was intent on using that phone to call for help. And then God sent help in another way and enabled him to have a full Shabbos together with everyone else. So we all have moments in our lives where someone needs us, where we know someone needs help, whether it's, and maybe a menial task like cleaning up a room or picking something up off the floor or helping someone with their homework or whatever it is, with their job, with their relationship issues, with their, Jewish philosophical questions, but often helping someone else is a burden on us, a burden on our time. And chayecha kodem, our lives do come first. At the end of the day, we don't destroy our lives to help someone else. But more often than not, we can help people without majorly hindering our own lives, our own schedules. And that's when it's the time to stand up, to be there in someone else's time of need. But more than that, God helps us to achieve our goals. If you really want something, and you really want to achieve something, and then things happen that get in your way, God often will jump down, remove that obstacle, and enable us to follow through and to achieve our goals. So there are a few things to think about. One is to try to make sure that we have good goals. Because God's going to help us to achieve our goals, we want to think carefully, what are those goals? Number two, aside from praying for health or wealth, but we can also pray to God to help us to achieve our goals. So if you want to become a more happy person, if you want to become a more spiritual person, if you want to try to keep kosher, if you want to try to be loving, if you want to try to be more respectful of your parents, you could also ask God, please help me. Help me find the tools and the strength to be more respectful of my parents. That's also a prayer. And whatever those goals are, it's good to know that we've got an all-knowing, all-loving Creator, Father in heaven, who's got our back, who will always be there for us in our time of need. Thank you all so much for being here in our time of need as we continue to learn and grow together each week.